For soldiers deep in the chaos of World War II, safe drinking water wasn't just a convenience, it was survival itself. Rivers were polluted, wells were often poisoned, and rainwater was unpredictable. Armies on both sides quickly learned that carrying enough clean water for extended missions was impossible. Out of this necessity came one of the most remarkable and quietly enduring purification methods ever developed, a trick so effective that it's still used today in some of the world's harshest environments by survivalists, field medics, and even relief organizations. The story begins with desperation in the field. In the early years of the war, troops stationed in remote outposts, especially in North Africa and the Pacific, faced extreme water shortages. Many units relied on boiling, but fuel was limited. Chemical tablets existed, but they were bulky, short-lived, and often tainted the water with an unpleasant metallic taste. Engineers and field doctors needed a method that could be done with minimal supplies, zero fuel, and absolute reliability. The solution was deceptively simple: the layered sand and charcoal filter, a design that combined natural filtration with basic chemistry to turn muddy, bacteria-filled water into something drinkable. This wasn't new science. Versions of it existed centuries before, but World War II refined it into a portable, repeatable system soldiers could make anywhere. The trick was in the layering, the ratios, and the way the materials interacted. When used correctly, it could take water from a shell crater or swamp and make it safe within hours. The soldier's filter was a system built from dirt, fire, and discipline. The design was standardized by field engineers using whatever materials could be scavenged. A section of metal pipe, a tin can, or even a hollow bamboo stalk could serve as the chamber. The key lay in 3 main layers: coarse gravel or small stones at the base, fine sand in the middle, and activated charcoal on top. The charcoal. It was truly the heart of the system. You see, soldiers would make it themselves by burning wood in low oxygen conditions, usually by covering embers with sand or soil to smother the flames. This process created a porous, carbon-rich material capable of absorbing impurities and neutralizing toxins. The trick wasn't just about adding charcoal, it was about crushing it finely enough to increase the surface area. You know, a single handful of well-prepared charcoal could trap bacteria, remove chemical residues, and improve taste quite dramatically. Now, to build the field filter, troops would fill their container 1/3 with gravel, then add an equal amount of clean sand, followed by a thick layer of crushed charcoal, roughly 2 inches if possible. Dirty water poured through slowly would emerge clear below. What made it effective wasn't just the physical filtration. The charcoal actively bonded with organic compounds, heavy metals, and even traces of fuel or oil, a common contaminant in war zones. So, why does this World War II method still matter today? Even with modern filters and tablets, this simple system remains unmatched in certain survival situations. Its effectiveness, you see, lies in redundancy. Each layer tackles a different threat. Gravel removes debris and sediments. Sand filters out fine particulates and pathogens. Charcoal adsorbs chemical impurities and neutralizes odors. In combination, they replicate what modern multi-stage filters do, but entirely with natural materials. Field manuals from 1943 describe this method as, well, suitable for emergency use where boiling is impractical. That phrase really sums up why it endures, you know. In disaster zones or off-grid living today, people still rely on it because it needs no electricity, no synthetic chemicals, and almost no maintenance at all. Even modern soldiers and preppers use compact versions made from PVC pipes, following the same wartime principles. For anyone testing this method today, ratios matter. A good rule of thumb is 1 part gravel to 1 part sand to 1 part crushed charcoal by volume. The finer the charcoal and sand, the slower and more effective the filtration, honestly. Letting water trickle through slowly, not pour, ensures maximum contact with the charcoal surface, exactly what World War II field medics insisted on. In off-grid setups or long expeditions, this World War II trick is often adapted into a 2-stage system. The first stage filters solids through sand and gravel, while the second passes water through a denser charcoal layer, or even a piece of cloth filled with ash and carbon fragments. When combined with sunlight disinfection, leaving water in clear bottles under direct ultraviolet for 6 hours, it becomes a near-complete purification setup that requires nothing beyond natural materials and, well, a bit of patience. Many experienced survivalists today enhance this by using charcoal from hardwoods, not softwoods, as hardwood char contains denser carbon pores and, lasts longer. Some even mix a small pinch of wood ash into the charcoal layer, replicating the alkaline effect that World War II medics discovered. It helps neutralize certain acidic contaminants and makes the water less likely to corrode metal canteens. For anyone experimenting at home, a glass jar setup works perfectly for demonstration. Fill the jar in the same 3-layer order, pour in dirty water from a puddle or pond, and watch how clarity improves. Test it again after slow filtration. It's not just a neat experiment, it's a practical piece of history, still proving its worth. What makes this technique timeless is its combination of simplicity and science. In the middle of the most destructive war in history, ordinary soldiers became accidental chemists and engineers. They didn't have laboratory-grade filters, yet they developed a system still considered viable under emergency conditions today. It's one of those rare cases where necessity forced innovation that outlasted the war itself. The charcoal and sand method became the foundation for many modern portable filter designs. Even household carbon filters for taps and camping gear owe something to this 1940s ingenuity. It's a reminder that survival isn't about high technology. It's about understanding the natural materials already around us. So next time you think about off-grid living, prepping, or even historical innovation, remember that the same trick that saved soldiers in muddy trenches is still keeping people alive in disaster zones today. If you value learning about these forgotten wartime innovations that shaped modern survival, make sure to subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and share this video with others who appreciate history that still works.